about 50 liters of water, dirty fish water, leaked down into my apartment. Okay, so if you've been following me on Instagram for a while, you might know that this room over here had a massive water leak right above my studio setup. Okay, imagine this. It is 4 a.m. My neighbor calls me and I wake up. And at that point in time, I hear like dripping somewhere, like Juno, my dog, is peeing in the living room. But I didn't think too much of it because if you wake up in the middle of the night, you're barely registering stuff, right? So I was like, okay, what the hell's happening here? Turns out they had an aquarium. The aquarium had a leak. And about 50 liters of water, dirty fish water, leaked down into my apartment. Right above my ATCs, my Neves, my Audioscape V-Comp, my Apollos, everything, there was a huge water tank leaking down. You can still see all the watermarks over there. There's some stuff over here. I mean, honestly, it came pouring down through this hole where you're supposed to mount a light. Okay, so fast forward to today and why I'm making this video. I need to take everything out of this room and they have to repaint all the walls and the ceiling. That's a hell of a job. I'm taking the opportunity to redo the acoustics and the room and take you with me in building that room up again from scratch, because some of the panels are also not really that good anymore. They've gotten a lot of water damage, so I might just need to strip everything and just rebuild the entire acoustics. And well, while we're at it, we're going to give this room a couple of upgrades. Okay, so before we dive into that, let's do a little, well, studio tour, if you will. So I did some of the acoustics already. So I did my first reflection points over there. I did them on the ceiling and over there as well. And here I've got a little bit of a weird thing acoustically, because this used to be a fireplace and that sticks out. And then on the other side, I've got like a small hallway without a door. This wall behind me is a wood up wall, so that's a felt back plate, so that absorbs already. And then it's small wooden slats, so that's more working like a diffuser and mainly a little bit of high-end absorption. And then behind that I made a 7cm space to put some, I didn't use rock wool this time because I didn't want to have an entire living room filled with rock wool. I used recycled jeans and it's supposed to work really well. And then in the back I've got a big couch that might do a little bit of base absorption. So before I get into the entire redesign of my room and building new panels and doing everything, I kind of want to get some help on that end from an expert, because I know the basics and I know kind of what to do. I built a lot of studio setups, but I definitely am not an acoustics expert. So I really would like to get some advice on that. So I have planned a call with Marcus Bertram from MB Acoustics, who is going to run us through everything and show us how to treat this space properly once and for all.
So if I got it right, it's both soundproofing and room acoustics in your case.
Soundproofing wise, we don't need to really do that much.
That just saved lots of money, that decision. Not going for soundproofing.
Is measuring, like I've got a Behringer cheapo measurement mic, is that anything to go off of, or is that something?
Measuring is easy. The hardest thing about measurements is to interpretate them, translate them into building something. Real measurements could be a good next step.
Right, so first let's get a measurement mic up and see what this room does as it is right now, with the current acoustic treatment and the speakers positioned as they are, and see what kind of issues we've got. So I've got this Behringer mic, measurement mic. It's about 50 bucks when I bought it. It's not expensive at all. So let's go and measure. I'm going straight from the Behringer ECM 8000 measurement mic into the Universal Audio Apollo Twin because that's the cleanest option I have right now. I've got the measurements here. This is the first measurement we just did. So you can see here it's 9, 10, 20 hertz, and then we jump up to 30 hertz, and 30 hertz is actually already at a pretty healthy level. There's quite a dip at 90 hertz because if we take this 100 decibel line as a reference, this would be about 16 dB lower. So that's a 16 decibel dip at around 90 hertz. And then we get a boost, 128 hertz. So that would be the biggest issue. And then later on we see that we've got something over here, 195, 280. It's all right. No room is ever going to be flat. It's acoustics. You can't iron out all the acoustics like you iron out your shirt. It's not how this stuff works. So what I have the biggest issue with is what I think is this dip around 4 kilohertz, because every time I do a mix in here, I notice that I've got a little bit of a sharp mix, and sharp vocals is a bit overrepresented in this 2 to 5 kilohertz area, and that is what I would like to straighten out a little bit if possible.
Next thing we have to take care about is like lateral modes. What we can do is, if you want, we can make a very short calculation about the own modes, which is possible because your room is shoebox. Okay, so what this calculator, it's just an Excel sheet that we're using, it's nothing more. It says that the first resonance in longitudinal direction is like 26 hertz, very low, so probably not a big thing. The next one is like 53, which is in the middle of bass, of low frequency bass. And the first lateral mode is going to be 60.7 hertz. So what we could do is you could put just 60.7 hertz on one of your speakers, not on both.
Yeah.
And go through the room, go from the left wall to the right wall, see if there is a big difference in sound pressure.
We can do that by playing a sine wave at 60.7 hertz, because that is, according to his calculations, where that first standing wave should be. So I'm going to move around the microphone between the left and the right wall. Then we can figure out if there is, in fact, standing waves over there. Okay, so I need to turn off one of the monitors. The right speaker is the only speaker that's going to send out a signal. And then we're going to move between the left and the right wall to see where the bass buildup is going to be. So we're going to the left. I'm already hearing a bit of a bass buildup. I think you will be as well. We move to the middle. We can clearly tell that there's not that much low end anymore here. Let's go to the right. Yeah, there's another bass buildup over there. So here in the middle, right at the listening position, we kind of have an issue.
It is always a good idea, acoustically speaking, to put the speakers as close to the front wall as possible because of this effect called speaker boundary interference. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's the effect that the speaker itself is omnidirectional at low frequencies, yeah, and is also playing sound to the window in your case, and you're going to have a reflection some milliseconds after the direct sound. For certain frequencies, this delay from the reflection causes a comb filtering effect because it's 180 degrees phase shift.
Okay, I push the speakers back to the glass. Let's do a new measurement to see if it's gotten any better. Maybe even worse. This looks to be even flatter, around 60 hertz. There seem to not be any big issues there. This doesn't go down that bad, around 100 hertz. And then it doesn't go up that much either. So maybe we fixed something there already by pushing the speakers back a little bit. Then over here we've got about the same The 2 to 5 kilohertz area is actually a little bit more flat now. The only thing I'm concerned about here is what looks like something of a comb filter. I would have liked it to be straightened out a bit more.
How's your ceiling built? Is it a wooden ceiling? Is it concrete?
This is all the just gypsum board.
Then it's very likely that you don't have a big issue with vertical modes. And
Right.
if this is the case, you can test by just playing 67 hertz.
Yeah.
And getting up and sitting back again. And if there is a huge difference, there is a standing wave between floor and ceiling. And if not, we are fine.
So let's put that signal generator on 67 hertz. It's also only going to be on the right speaker. You guys can go a little bit lower than I can. I'm going to lay down on the floor. Let me know in the comments if you're hearing any difference in this 67 hertz sine wave when you are all the way on top there at the height that I wish my body would have been at the listening height. Okay, so that's good to know. We don't have an issue at 67 hertz. Another thing that Marcus said we could try is swapping out the left and the right speaker. Because these ATC SEM25s have a dedicated left speaker and a dedicated right speaker, we can swap them around. So we have the low drivers on the inside and have the mid and highs on the outside of our stereo field. Did I tell you already that ATC SEM25s are 30 kilos a piece? Yeah, this is not that much fun. Let's see what that is doing to our frequency response. If we grab the last measurement, we can see that the low end has gotten a little bit, well, more. Maybe that's nice, maybe it's too much. The good thing is on the ATCs I can actually dim down the low end, so if it is too much I can just tone that down a little bit. Further on, 200 hertz is still an issue. That looks the same. 280 as well. We actually get a new dip again around 2 to 4K. It's not as bad as it was, I think. No, it's a little bit more up. So if we can fix this, that would be great. But at least we don't have the same comb filter we had in the previous measurement with the monitors the other way around. So that's a big win for me. The trade-off of having a little bit less high mid frequencies, I might be able to adjust to that, learn to live with that. Maybe we can place some acoustic materials that push up the energy there. Maybe we can do something like Trinov or Sonarworks down the line. I think with these measurements, I'm already feeling a lot better about this room. If we look at the first measurement versus the measurement we have now, it seems to have improved here and there. Let's see what we can do with acoustics. And of course we can analyze and measure whatever we want, but in the end it is about how our music sounds and translates in here. So let's play some tunes and see how that is going to sound. Okay, so right now on first listen it sounds pretty good, and actually I think seeing the measurement and hearing with my ears, I think we got it a little bit flatter. And then actually for the next step I should maybe mark where I place the speakers, because I need to get everything out of the room, get the room painted, and then get on with building some acoustic panels. Marcus proposed really big ones that were 40 centimeters thick in the middle. I'm not really feeling that. but maybe I can do 20 or 25 centimeters, which is eating up half a meter of an already pretty narrow room. I need to debate how much I want to dedicate to having the best sound and how much I want to have nice daylight and not feel cramped up. I need to think about that a little bit, and then when I start building all of that stuff and fine-tuning that, I'll grab the camera again and take you guys with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. Comment down below what you think and what I should go for in terms of furniture or racks, gear maybe for this spot, or if I should go for big absorbers or just stick with 10 to 15 centimeters maybe. If you want to follow me on this journey, the subscribe button is right there, so subscribe and you will be notified when I drop part 2 of this studio build series thing.
Mission. Quest. Thank you.
So I guess I'll see you on the next one. Later.